The room shudders as a pulse of static erupts from the radio. A voice, chilling and distant, cuts through the chaos. They're already here. The world stands still for a heartbeat, frozen in the gravity of the statement. Outside, sirens wail as panic grips the streets. Governments scramble, secrets spill, and the truth can no longer be denied. The transmission, a garbled mess of static and alien frequencies, flickers on screens around the world. The protagonist, caught between disbelief and terror, watches as the message becomes clear. "We've been waiting for you." The words reverberate through their mind, echoing across every fiber of their being. The atmosphere is thick with unease. People in the streets are frozen, staring at the same screens, some shaking, others simply too numb to react. The invasion, it seems, has already begun. Amid the uncertainty, the protagonist's life is upended. He is a man like many others, flawed, uncertain, and already burdened by the weight of personal loss. His apartment, once a refuge, now feels suffocating. The walls, once familiar, seem to close in around him as the alien message reverberates through his mind. He was never meant to play a heroic role. He's just a man, someone with a past full of broken promises and painful memories. Yet, here he is, standing at the edge of a new reality, faced with decisions that could change everything. Outside, the world is in chaos, but here, in this moment, he is alone with his thoughts. He wonders what this all means, what's expected of him. The government's lies, the global panic, and the alien message, it all swirls in his mind, leaving him unable to comprehend the full scope of what is happening. The government is in full panic mode. The highest-ranking officials are locked away in sealed rooms, making decisions that will impact the entire world. As the alien transmission continues, their control begins to slip. Military forces are mobilized, and emergency protocols are activated, but it's too late. The truth cannot be contained. A quiet revolt is beginning in the streets, as citizens realize the lies that have been fed to them for decades. The protagonist is caught in this web of distrust and secrecy, unable to comprehend the scale of the conspiracy unfolding around him. The pressure mounts as he is forced to confront his own role in all of this, whether he can make a difference, or if he's simply another pawn in a game that stretches across the stars. The streets are in chaos. People are panicked, running for safety, as the message continues to echo through the airwaves. It's not just the government that's hiding something, it's everyone. The truth is slipping through their fingers and there's nothing they can do to stop it. The protagonist is part of this broken system, a cog in a machine he never asked to be part of. As the invasion looms closer, it's unclear whether anyone will survive this. As people shout, cry, and flee, the protagonist is left wondering, what was this all for? The world is coming apart, and no one seems to know what to do next. The protagonist hears the message again, "We've been waiting for you." This time, it's not just a chilling statement, it's a summons. Something deep inside him stirs. He doesn't know what's coming, but he knows that his life is forever changed. The realization crashes into him like a wave, overwhelming his thoughts. He stares out the window once more, but now the city seems even more alien, as though the world has been irrevocably altered. People continue to flee, but the protagonist knows there's nowhere to hide. The invasion has already begun, and now he must face the reality of it. The protagonist begins to uncover disturbing secrets. The alien transmission, once the focus of public panic, now seems to be the tip of a much darker iceberg. He learns that the government, the one entity he had always trusted, has been complicit in an elaborate cover-up. For decades, hidden factions within the government have been working with the aliens, their agendas intertwined. This cooperation has allowed the aliens to manipulate humanity from the shadows, engineering global events for their own benefit. As the protagonist digs deeper, he discovers evidence that humanity's history has been carefully manipulated, with major events staged for the benefit of these alien powers. His mind races, unable to comprehend the scale of the betrayal. He feels himself slipping into a nightmare, realizing that every truth he thought he knew is now under question. The conspiracy goes deeper than he could ever have imagined, and trust has become a currency he can no longer afford. The more the protagonist learns, the more it becomes apparent that the conspiracy goes far beyond government corruption. He begins to suspect that those closest to him, friends, allies, even family, have been playing their own part in this global deception. He confronts a trusted colleague, a woman he thought he could rely on, with the evidence he's uncovered. Her face pales as he accuses her of knowing the truth all along. In a tense moment of silence, she finally speaks, her words sharp with the sting of betrayal. "I didn't want this to happen." The protagonist feels the world unravel around him as she admits to being part of a covert operation that has been working with the aliens for years. This admission cuts deeper than the alien invasion itself. The person he trusted most was now an accomplice to the very forces he was trying to fight against. Her betrayal feels like a personal assault, and the protagonist is left with nothing but his anger and fear. The protagonist's confrontation with his colleague has shattered the last bit of trust he had in the people around him. The weight of betrayal gnaws at him, leaving him with a hollow feeling. The alien threat is now secondary to the personal demons he must face. As he walks through the desolate streets, he's haunted by the knowledge that the invasion is just one piece of a much larger puzzle. He can no longer discern who is a friend and who is an enemy. The city is a ghost town. People cower in their homes, afraid to face the truth. The protagonist realizes that even the government's promises of protection have been lies. Every step he takes seems to echo in the empty streets, and he wonders if he is the only one awake to the horrors around him. But he can't stop now. He knows too much, and there's no going back. He must find answers, even if it means facing the people he once trusted. As the protagonist struggles with the enormity of his discovery, a new layer of the conspiracy reveals itself. He uncovers a hidden faction within the government, those who have been pulling the strings all along. Their goal isn't just to survive the alien invasion. It's to collaborate with the aliens to reshape humanity itself. The protagonist learns that the alien invasion was never meant to be a war. It was a carefully orchestrated takeover. The humans involved in this secret alliance believed that by assisting the aliens, they would usher in a new era of human evolution. But what the protagonist realizes next is even more devastating. The betrayal isn't just about control. The alien forces have manipulated humanity's very history, shaping it for their own dark purpose. The protagonist's blood runs cold as he realizes that his own family has been involved in this twisted plan, and that the answers he seeks may lie in his own past. The moment of truth arrives when the protagonist finally confronts his own bloodline. He has spent years running from his family's past, but now it seems it is the very key to understanding everything. A long-lost relative, someone he had never met, reveals that the protagonist's lineage is intricately tied to the alien forces. He learns that his family was chosen for a very specific reason, to act as both a bridge and a barrier between humanity and the alien invaders. His own existence was not a coincidence. "Your bloodline is why this is happening," the relative tells him in a voice that sends a chill down his spine. The protagonist's mind reels as the weight of this revelation sinks in. His entire life has been a lie, and now he must decide whether to embrace his family's dark legacy or fight against it. But with the alien forces closing in, time is running out. The protagonist's journey takes a harrowing turn when he uncovers the full extent of the government's involvement with the alien forces. It's not just a matter of survival or power. It's a carefully orchestrated conspiracy, decades in the making. The government's hidden factions, long ago compromised, have been working with the aliens, not merely to coexist, but to ensure the domination of both species. The protagonist realizes that the alien invasion was not an unexpected event, but a calculated strategy, a final phase of a plan that had been in place for centuries. The documents he uncovers show that the aliens had long infiltrated humanity's political systems, pulling the strings behind the world's most significant events. But what strikes the protagonist the hardest is the realization that the alien forces may not even be the true threat. There is something far darker at play, something much more insidious. The government itself is as much of an enemy as the extraterrestrials. The world's history has been manipulated, and now the protagonist must choose whether to expose the truth, risking his life, or to remain silent and watch humanity slip into the hands of its hidden oppressors. As the protagonist pieces together the fragments of this dark puzzle, another revelation shakes him to his core. His family's connection to the aliens is deeper than he ever imagined. His ancestors were not just pawns in the aliens' game. They were active participants in this interstellar conspiracy. His bloodline, it seems, was carefully chosen not only to maintain the secret alliance with the alien forces, but to play a key role in ensuring the success of their long-term goals. The protagonist now knows that his life has been a lie, built on a foundation of manipulation and deceit. His family has been complicit in betraying humanity for generations, and now he must face the truth of his own lineage. The horror of it all sinks in, and he feels utterly alone. The alien forces may have made contact, but it's his own flesh and blood that have set the stage for the fall of humankind. Faced with the full weight of his family's actions, the protagonist wrestles with an agonizing choice. Will he take a stand against everything his family has worked for? Or will he bow to the legacy they have left him? A sudden encounter with a figure from his past shakes the protagonist to the core. It is a familiar face, someone he trusted deeply, who reveals themselves to be not only part of the alien conspiracy, but a direct agent working to ensure its success. This person, someone the protagonist had once confided in, calmly admits that their role in the alien plot was never accidental. In fact, they were chosen long before the protagonist's birth. "You were always meant to find out," they say, the coldness in their voice sending a chill through the protagonist. The betrayal stings deeper than he could have ever expected. He never imagined that the people he once thought of as family could be this complicit in the destruction of humanity. The confrontation is tense and filled with anger as the protagonist tries to understand the motives behind this betrayal. The lines between friend and foe have blurred to a point where even he is unsure of who he can trust anymore. The protagonist's mind races as he tries to piece together what's happening. The alien forces may be close, but they are not the ultimate threat. Humanity's greatest enemy is the one that has been living among them all along, their own government. The more he learns, the clearer it becomes. The government has not only betrayed the world's citizens, but has been actively preparing for the alien invasion, secretly planning to ally with the invaders for its own survival. Humanity has been manipulated into believing that the alien forces are the enemy, but the truth is far more dangerous. The government itself is orchestrating this entire crisis. The realization hits like a punch to the gut. The protagonist is forced to grapple with the idea that the very institutions that were meant to protect him were, in fact, working towards his destruction. And worse, he's now one of the few who knows the truth. The burden of knowledge is overwhelming, and the weight of his responsibility becomes clear. He must decide whether to take action against his own government or let the invasion continue unchecked. With time running out, the protagonist finds himself caught between the need to act and the fear of facing the full scale of the conspiracy. His family, his government, and his friends have all betrayed him. The alien forces are no longer the only enemy. Humanity's greatest adversary is the corrupt system that has brought them to this point. The protagonist decides that he cannot fight this war alone. He reaches out to a few remaining trusted allies, those he believes might still be loyal, but even they are divided. Some are hesitant to fight against the government that has protected them for so long, while others are ready to take a stand. The conflict is no longer just about survival. It's about making a choice that will either save humanity or doom it. The protagonist knows that whatever decision he makes, it will be the last chance for humanity to survive, and the cost will be steep. There is no going back now. The tension reaches its peak as the protagonist is faced with an agonizing choice: use the alien technology at his disposal to fight back against the invaders, or expose the truth to the world and risk plunging humanity into chaos. The alien technology, while powerful, comes with a terrifying price. If the protagonist uses it, he risks losing his humanity, becoming something less than human, a puppet of the alien forces. On the other hand, exposing the truth might lead to the collapse of society as humanity grapples with the devastating knowledge that they have been manipulated for centuries. The protagonist knows that the choice he makes will alter the course of history. The weight of his decision bears down on him, and with each passing moment, the stakes grow higher. The alien forces are closing in, and time is running out. He can feel the eyes of the world upon him, and he wonders, is there a way to win, or is humanity doomed, no matter what choice he makes? The protagonist's mind races as he weighs the consequences of each option. The alien technology promises a powerful weapon, one capable of leveling the playing field against the invaders. But at what cost? He remembers the stories of those who used the technology before, how they were transformed into something unrecognizable, more machine than man. He wonders if he too will lose himself if he chooses to fight with the alien weapon. But if he chooses to expose the truth, there's no guarantee humanity will be able to handle it. The government will likely crumble, and with it, the fragile order of society. Chaos would spread, and the alien forces could take advantage of the disarray. The protagonist looks to his allies, some of whom are eager to use the technology, while others are more hesitant. It's clear that his decision will not only affect the future of the world, but also the lives of those closest to him. The moment of truth arrives. The protagonist's decision is finally made. He activates the alien technology. As the device hums to life, he feels a surge of power coursing through him. It's intoxicating, the sensation of control and strength overwhelming his senses. But as the power builds, so too does the fear. His body begins to change, his skin shimmers with an unnatural glow, and his senses become heightened to an almost painful degree. He can hear every whisper, every movement in the room, and it feels like his mind is expanding, reaching beyond his human limits. The transformation is complete. The protagonist is no longer fully human. He has become something more, but at what cost? As he looks at his hands, now infused with alien power, he knows there is no turning back. The alien forces may be defeated, but the man who once stood in this room is gone. Now, he is something else entirely, an agent of the invaders, wielding their power as his own. The final confrontation is at hand. The protagonist, now fully transformed by the alien technology, leads a charge against the invaders. His newfound power makes him nearly unstoppable. He moves with unnatural speed and precision, cutting through the alien forces with ease. But as he fights, he begins to feel the alien presence within him, growing stronger. His thoughts become clouded, and he struggles to maintain his sense of self. The power that once felt empowering now feels like a heavy weight, pulling him into a darkness he can't escape. He realizes that the more he uses the alien technology, the more he risks losing himself entirely. In the midst of battle, he faces a moment of clarity. Victory comes at a terrible price, and the cost may be too high. The protagonist's only hope now is to find a way to destroy the technology before it consumes him completely. But with the alien forces closing in, time is running out. With the battle over and the alien forces defeated, the protagonist stands alone amidst the ruins. The cost of victory is clear. The alien technology has taken its toll, and he is no longer the man he once was. His body is still infused with the alien power, and though he has saved humanity, it feels like an empty victory. He wonders if this was all worth it, whether saving the world was worth losing himself. The silence around him is deafening, and for the first time, he feels the full weight of his decision. As he stands there, looking at the world that now belongs to humanity once again, he knows that the price of victory is never truly paid until the battle is over. He has saved humanity, but at what cost? The future is uncertain, and the protagonist is left to face the consequences of his actions, knowing that the war may be over, but his fight with himself is just beginning. In the aftermath of the battle, the protagonist's world is forever altered. The alien forces have been driven back, but the victory feels hollow. The world is in ruins, and humanity is left to pick up the pieces. The scars of war are everywhere, both physical and emotional. People move through the wreckage of their cities, unsure of what comes next. There is no clear path to rebuilding. Governments have collapsed, trust has been shattered, and the knowledge of the alien invasion has left humanity in a state of constant fear. The protagonist, still burdened by the alien technology inside him, struggles to find his place in this new world. He knows that things can never return to what they were. The realization hits him: even if humanity survives, it will never be the same again. The aftermath of the invasion, the devastation and the scars left by his own actions, are a constant reminder that there's no going back. As time passes, the protagonist begins to understand the full scope of what humanity is facing. The alien presence may have been pushed back, but their influence is far from gone. There are remnants of their technology scattered across the world, and some factions, both human and alien, are attempting to harness it for their own purposes. A new power struggle begins to form as humanity's governments attempt to regain control, but there are too many secrets, too many factions still at play. The protagonist, who now feels more alien than human, realizes that he is part of a new world order. He is no longer the person he was before the invasion. And the question becomes, can humanity ever truly rebuild itself, or is it doomed to repeat the same mistakes that led them to this point? As the protagonist grapples with these questions, he begins to wonder whether his actions, his decisions, have sealed the fate of mankind. In the midst of these power struggles, the protagonist is faced with a shocking discovery. There are whispers of a new alien faction, one that has remained hidden throughout the invasion. This group, unlike the previous invaders, seems to have different goals. Their motivations are unclear, but what is certain is that they are far more dangerous than anything humanity has faced before. The protagonist realizes that the war is not over, and the true battle has yet to begin. The remnants of alien forces may have been pushed back, but new threats are rising. The protagonist must decide whether to face this new enemy head-on or find a way to negotiate peace. He knows that the stakes are higher than ever before, and the choices he makes now will determine whether humanity will rise from the ashes or fall into further destruction. As the protagonist prepares for this new war, he feels the weight of his decisions growing heavier. He knows that the future of humanity lies in his hands, but he also understands that he is no longer the person he once was. The alien technology inside him continues to change him, pushing him further from his human origins. He can no longer tell where the line between himself and the alien forces begins and ends. The decisions he made in the past now seem like distant memories, and the guilt of those choices weighs heavily on him. As the alien presence grows stronger, so does the internal conflict within the protagonist. He must face the truth. No matter how hard he tries, he can never escape the consequences of his action. The new war is coming, and he must lead humanity into it, but at what cost? Can he survive this battle, or will he lose himself completely in the process? The final confrontation begins. The new alien faction, more powerful and enigmatic than ever, arrives with a force that shakes the foundations of what remains of humanity. The protagonist, now fully embracing the power of the alien technology, leads the charge against them. But as he faces this new enemy, he realizes that the battle is not just for survival, it is a battle for the soul of humanity. The protagonist's powers, once a source of strength, are now a source of fear. His allies, once eager to follow him, begin to question whether they are fighting alongside a hero or a monster. The protagonist's internal struggle becomes mirrored in the external conflict. As he faces the terrifying possibility that the war may never truly be won, that humanity may lose everything, including its very essence, in the process. With no way out, he must face this new enemy and confront his own demons, knowing that whatever happens, the world will be irrevocably changed. Months have passed since the final confrontation, and humanity is still struggling to find its footing in a world that has been irrevocably altered. The alien forces that once threatened Earth are now gone, but their influence lingers. Alien technology, once feared and misunderstood, is now scattered across the globe, a new frontier for humanity to explore. The protagonist, though victorious, remains a deeply changed man. The power that once coursed through him now feels like a distant echo, and he is left to grapple with the consequences of the choices he made. The world around him is rebuilding, but it is clear that the scars of the invasion will not fade easily. People are divided. Some see the alien technology as a blessing, while others view it as a curse. The protagonist walks through a world of uneasy peace, knowing that the fight for humanity's future is far from over. There are new challenges on the horizon, and the protagonist knows that the true cost of the war is only now becoming apparent. The protagonist meets with a group of global leaders, a mix of humans and former alien collaborators, who now seek to forge a new world order. The discussions are tense, as some argue for the immediate use of alien technology to propel humanity into a new age of prosperity, while others remain wary, fearing that such power could lead to further corruption. The protagonist listens in silence, his mind heavy with the knowledge that any decision made here will shape the future of the world. His role, once seen as that of a leader, now feels like that of an outsider. The alien influence that runs through his veins makes him both an asset and a threat. As the debate rages on, the protagonist can't help but wonder, is humanity truly ready to handle this power, or are they doomed to repeat the same mistakes that led to their downfall? The choice may not be his to make, but it's clear that the future of the world rests on the actions of a few, and the stakes have never been higher. As the debates continue, the protagonist begins to sense a new growing threat, a resistance group forming in the shadows, composed of those who reject the New World Order. They see the alien technology as a corrupting force, one that will eventually destroy humanity's essence. This group believes that the only way to ensure humanity's survival is to rid the world of all alien influence, even if it means undoing the progress that has been made. The protagonist, though a part of this new world, finds himself at odds with their ideology. He wonders if their actions are a reaction to fear, or if there is truth to their concerns. In private, the protagonist reflects on his own transformation, the alien power still pulsing inside him, and the question lingers in his mind: is humanity truly capable of maintaining control over its future? Or will the alien influence ultimately consume them all? The protagonist's struggle intensifies as he faces the consequences of his decisions. The alien technology, once a tool for survival, has become a source of division and distrust. People who once hailed him as a hero now view him with suspicion, afraid of the power that he wields. The world is fractured, with some seeing the technology as a new dawn, while others see it as a dark omen. The protagonist can feel the growing divide, and as the conflict escalates, he begins to question his place in this new world. Is he a bridge between humanity and the alien forces, or a harbinger of a future where humanity loses its identity? He understands the fear that grips the world, but he also knows that the alien power inside him is a part of him now, and that there may be no going back. The question remains: can humanity ever reconcile with the alien influence, or will it ultimately tear them apart? The final decision looms. The protagonist is once again faced with the choice of how to lead humanity. No. The alien technology, while a source of immense power, has become a double-edged sword. The protagonist's inner turmoil has reached its peak, and the weight of the world presses down on him. As he stands before the leaders of the fractured world, he must decide whether to embrace the alien legacy, using it to build a new era of progress and unity, or to cast it aside, risking the loss of all the knowledge and power it offers. The future of humanity rests on his shoulders, but even as he contemplates his decision, he knows that whatever path he chooses, there will be consequences. The question remains: can humanity survive in a world forever changed by alien influence, or will the cost of progress prove too great? The final battle is upon them. The protagonist, torn between the alien legacy within him and the remnants of his humanity, leads a group of resistance fighters to face the new alien faction. They are more powerful than anything they've faced before, their technology more advanced, and their intentions more enigmatic. The protagonist knows that this fight is unlike any they've fought before. It's not just for survival, but for the soul of humanity itself. The line between friend and foe has become blurred, as some of the protagonist's own allies now question whether the battle is worth the cost. As the enemy's forces close in, the protagonist looks around at the faces of those who have chosen to stand with him, and he realizes that this is the end of the line. There will be no going back, no second chances. In this moment, he must choose whether to embrace the alien powers inside him and lead humanity into the future, or reject them, knowing that it might mean the destruction of everything they've fought for. As the battle rages on, the protagonist feels the weight of his decisions bearing down on him. The alien forces are relentless, their technology seemingly unstoppable. With each passing moment, it becomes clear that this fight may be more than just about defeating an enemy. It's about the future of humanity itself. The protagonist realizes that the alien technology, while powerful, has corrupted the very essence of their world. Even those who once fought alongside him are now questioning if they've been too quick to embrace the alien powers. The protagonist knows that his actions have set the course of history, and now, standing at the edge of this final confrontation, he wonders if humanity can ever truly be free of the influence that has shaped their destiny. He struggles to hold on to his humanity, but the alien power within him threatens to consume him, making him feel like a stranger in his own skin. In the midst of the chaos, the protagonist faces the ultimate test of his will. The alien forces, in their final attempt to dominate, offer him a chance to join them. They promise power beyond imagination and the opportunity to shape the world in his image. The protagonist is torn. He knows that embracing this power could save humanity, but it would also mean becoming something less than human. The decision is excruciating. He has seen the horrors that the alien influence has caused, but he also understands that the power they offer could end the war and bring peace to a fractured world. As he stands at the crossroads, he realizes that the true enemy is not the aliens, but the darkness within himself, the part of him that craves power and control. Can he reject the temptation and choose humanity, or will he become the very thing he has fought against? The protagonist makes his decision. He rejects the alien offer, choosing humanity over power. As he battles on, the realization hits him. The war may not be won through brute force alone. It's not just about defeating the alien forces, it's about reclaiming the soul of humanity, restoring the strength that lies within each individual. The protagonist knows that this fight isn't just for survival, it's for the future of humanity's spirit, for its ability to rise from the ashes of destruction. The final confrontation is fierce, and in those last moments, the protagonist finds a way to turn the alien technology against itself. With a devastating surge of energy, the alien forces are pushed back, their power broken. As the dust settles, the protagonist stands victorious but exhausted. The battle is over, but the world is forever changed. In the aftermath of the war, the world begins to rebuild, but the scars of the past are impossible to erase. The protagonist, though victorious, finds himself forever changed. The alien power that once flowed through him has faded, but the consequences of using it linger. The world is healing, but the cost of the war is evident in every broken city and every haunted face. As the protagonist watches humanity attempt to rebuild, he realizes that the true battle is not over. The struggle for identity, for purpose, and for the future is just beginning. The truth of what happened cannot be undone, but perhaps in time, humanity can find its way back from the brink. The protagonist walks away from the wreckage, the weight of his decisions heavy on his shoulders. The truth has a price, he whispers to himself, knowing that whatever happens next, the world will never be the same.